C1. You are listening at FameTV.info. Wen Liu, you are this king's. This king has waited for this opportunity for a whole 10 years, and every time I think of you, I can't sleep at night. Zhao Fan tore apart her clothes as if he had gone mad. Wen Liu tried his best to push him away, but he discovered that he was completely powerless. She could barely think, and yelled as she dodged, "Cloud ride." Meng Qingyun. It was Meng Qingyun who brought her into the palace, saying that the Empress Dowager had summoned her, yet in the end, she had only drank a cup of wine on the moon-seizing platform and things had already turned out like this. Meng Qingyun was definitely not too far away. When Liu rushed to the front of the pavilion, the night wind blew through the layers of curtains, causing the person's clothes to flutter in the wind. As expected, he was still there. Zhao Fan approached closer. "Are you looking for Minister Meng? This king advises you to just give up on this idea. He's about to marry the princess as his consort, and the cup of wine you just drank was given to this king by him." "I don't believe it." The light in front of Wen Liu flashed, as if the world was spinning, and he couldn't even take 2 steps before crashing heavily onto the ground. "Qingyun. Save me." "Liu." Meng Qingyun walked out from behind the curtain and gently advised. "Follow King Ming, he will treat you with deep gratitude." As his light words fell, Wen Liu was like a thunderbolt that struck her body. She forced herself to stand up and walk towards him. "Deep feelings. You want to marry the princess and make her your relative, and you want to sell me for a stepping stone. Meng Qingyun, you really have to make the best use of it." She was 20.9 years old this year, and it had taken her 14 years of time to go from a peasant girl who could not keep up with food to become the richest woman in Great Yan Dynasty. The girls that were her age and her children were already at the age of marriage, but when they were getting married, Wen Liu was actually running away from Meng Qingyun. He wanted money. How much did Wen Liu want? How much did Wen Liu give him? Meng Qingyun had sat in the seat of honor since the day he was established. It was all because of Wen Liu throwing money at him. When she was 15 years old, her entire body was destroyed by the man who snuck into her house, and she was sold to the sickly child called Xie family by her grandmother. Meng Qingyun had abandoned all of them and escaped with her in the middle of the night. Even though Meng Qingyun disliked this person, she still did her best to help him. It was just that Meng Qingyun had not married in all these years and they lived side by side. She was already very satisfied that they were able to have a few words at dinner when they were free, but now, this person, whom she thought she could be best friends with for life, had actually given her to Zhao Fan for the sake of her power and position. Meng Qingyun replied. "It's all for your own good." "For my own good." "Ha ha. Ha ha ha." When Liu staggered backwards, Zhao Fan scoffed as he closed in. "It's not like she's some virtuous woman, a girl who can't be married off to another. This king is willing to show respect to you. It's a blessing that you've cultivated for a few lifetimes." Zhao Fan's voice was right beside his ear. "Little emperor, you won't be able to live long. I'll soon be able to ascend to the throne. This king will treat you well and let you enjoy a lifetime of wealth." Wen Liu's ears buzzed. She used all her strength to resist, and in that moment, he could not do anything to her. Zhao Fan pressed on, step by step, until he reached the railing. Suddenly, Wen Liu stopped and pounced on Zhao Fan. The wooden railing on the stage was battered every day, and with a crack sound, it broke as the two of them fell down. She was a businessman. Even if she died, she couldn't afford to lose money. In that moment when Wen Liu was flying through the air, the sound of the wind was hurried, as if many people were calling her. In the distance, flames rapidly spread, and tens of thousands of soldiers surrounded the entire palace. The sentry urgently reported. King Hang and his troops entered the palace with 100,000 soldiers. Lord Qing sighed. When Liu fell onto the stage, blood dyed the white jade stone red. The moment she took her last breath, she saw the white horse galloping over, and although she couldn't see his face, she closed her eyes in relief. Xie Heng returned. Listen to the full novel at FameTV.info, direct link in the description.